Britain who claim they have a trade deal. You have to keep engaging. I already told you what Henry Kissinger said. You have to find a way to deal with him. The last visit of the 5 African head of states who went there without any agenda, you can see how they were humiliated. But they did not pick up the fight there, even though they expressed reservations after they left there. You have to keep the door open because 2.2 billion in 1 quarter is a significant figure in trade for Nigeria to completely ignore.
It certainly is. And
most
while we're on the
payment
talk of
system,
those statistics, so sorry to interject, our time is almost up. So while we're talking statistics, some of those numbers are out. So if you look at our trade, Nigeria-US trade from 2024 in comparison to 2025, I believe we've dipped by about 20%. We've lost almost $500 million in a trade value that we had been doing. Even our oil exports have also decreased. In 2024, over a 5-month period, we did over 20 million barrels. And this year, in a same 5-month period, we've done just over 17 million barrels to the United States. I'd like to know the direct impact that you've witnessed or that you're hearing from Nigerian businesses so far, because these are huge numbers. So I'd just like for you, in closing, just to share some of the stories that you know on the ground of what Nigerian businesses are going through and how entrepreneurs are trying to make ends meet, given the loss of such a huge market. Well, not loss, but the difficulty in accessing such a huge market.
Well, the loss of about 20% in the first quarter of trade with the U.S. is a significant loss for a country like Nigeria. What we are currently doing is, that's why we must stay engaged so that we don't lose the remaining. And there's no doubt the impact or the reasons for this is not unconnected. While we're all looking to the renewal of AGOA, we are receiving additional tariffs or threats of tariffs. But the Chinese have just recently said for 53 out of its 4 countries in Africa, they would give free trade. And we have also seen within the Schengen area about 5 countries saying they will increase the up to 5 years visa for our businesses. So the best thing is to look, while negotiating, to look for alternative markets. We cannot ignore America because, I like it or not, they still represent about 90% of the current payment system under the SWIFT. So there are alternatives, but we have to develop those markets. And for us as businesses, it has been a huge loss. And the American market has been something we tend to grow. But since we're having these pushbacks, it's for us to exploit this new free trade barrier that is coming up in the East, especially with China, the EU, and most importantly, we need to develop our intra-African trade. It's just only 15% now. We are doing with, I'm talking of intra-African trade, 15%. We should grow it. And we should take the example of what happened with Uganda when they were having problem with the gay issue. When America refused them to do businesses, they were only doing about $1.5 million. They were able to trade within Africa over $5 million.
Yes, they were.
So we should find a way to grow our intra-African trades under the FCTA.
Thank you very much.
I think there are alternatives, but we should not stop engaging. We must find a way. Although there are other reasons I've said, the 300 Venezuela refugees they wanted us to accept, which we may not be unconnected. But what is important is for Nigeria to stay strong. Africa is a very rich resource continent.
Thank you so much.
I think we should look more inwards.
Agreed. I think that's an excellent place for us to end.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. That was, of course, Dele Oye, who's the former president of the Organized Private Sector. Thank you very much for joining us.